Hello and welcome, everybody. Can you hear me all right? If you can, please give me a thumbs up. Sheree, can you hear me all right?
Yep. Yeah,
okay,
we're
great.
good.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks again. And welcome to this webinar. I'm very excited to be here. It's been a while. I have done one of these. So thank you, Sheree and Jeannie and everyone else for inviting me on the Signworld side to bring up some of the best of some trends that are emerging on social media side. I'm going to get started and share my presentation deck. Just again, a quick check. You can hear me, see me. Yes, good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, awesome then. Thank you very much. I've got some grounds to cover here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to kind of, dig deep into this. And Sheree, I just want to understand, we're recording this, we'll get an access to the recording. I just want to make sure that my team also has this. Some of them wanted to be here, but they couldn't. Yeah, we'll get access to the recording. Okay.
Yes. Yep,
okay, great.
I'm recording, so
Awesome. Well, thank you. And again, I just wanted to welcome everybody. Just as you know, what gets me here is because I am one of the founders. Actually, I'm the co-founder per se, because my husband's a silent partner in the business. And my name is Arti Sharma. Some of you may know me from previous interactions, but just as you know, I'm a mom to two. I've got a millennial and Gen Z both. So this definitely is a qualification criteria for me to be here, because I understand how the technology is being used at home, and also in general, how generations are changing and how social media has evolved over the last decade. So today I want to unpack some of the social media trends for you and marketing around social algorithms. Besides being a founder and co-founder of Measure Marketing, I do have investments in other businesses. So I kind of, understand how businesses operate. I started once upon a time as a startup. So I've held 3 startups in the past. So definitely those of you who are starting out, all kudos to you. And those of you who've been in the business, then also again, you've surpassed COVID. So stick around because it's a beautiful journey. Again, I think one of the things that I really want to share with you today is that social media has evolved, and I want to unpack how you can still get a share in the pie and what should be your expectations from there. So agenda for today is social media statistics, some of the key trends that we're observing. I have read some journals and some research that has happened. Also, buyer's journey. It's a very important element. I wanted to emphasize on how signage industry over COVID evolved a little bit, but also how your buyers are behaving today. Okay, and who are the buyers and who will be the buyers ultimately in the coming 2 years. So we definitely want to talk about that. And what are the different stages of social media? Again, how COVID and pandemic has changed everything. The social media algorithm, that's a big one. And I'm going to be emphasizing a lot more of my slides today and my presentation today around the, I would say, untethering the algorithm and making sure that you understand how do you invest in certain social channels, when should you choose a social channel, and how do you make it work for you. And then we're going to talk about about new content strategies as platforms are starting to look very much alike, and where should you go. I mean, I'll be happy to carve out next, I would say towards the end of the presentation, about 10-15 minutes for an open discussion to make sure that you understand the importance of it. And then again, I want to share with you some of the common tools that I've been using as a CEO, because my team thinks that I should be out there. And if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do social media. So stay with me. I'll ask Sheree to keep the chat going. I don't have that second screen somehow working, so I don't know the chat. So I'll keep going. If you're angry at me just because I'm speaking really fast, or if you don't understand my accent, please slow me down. Okay, I do speak fast. So that's again coming from my Indian traits. And second is, as Indians, you're taught to really focus on your mathematics and science as a child. I was never a good student in maths. So what I did today was bring all of the other work that I did not do when I was in school into this presentation by means of equations and formulas. So stick around and get your notepads ready. So let's talk about benefits of social media. Let's unpack that. Really, social media is becoming a brand touch point. It's really, really important for you to be on social channels because there's increased exposure for it. There's increased traffic that you could get. And if you are consistent and you stay there for long and you do the work that I'm going to share with you today, you could actually even generate leads. But as a signage company, most of the times what we've seen is that social media is becoming more of a brand touch point, in your sales cycle. So somebody came to you, but then they saw you on Instagram and somehow your feed popped up in their kind of social channels, because we have algorithms and we'll talk about that. They ultimately, you became top of mind. So I think it's a top of mind strategy for most signage companies, but those who are consistent, I've seen some really good results for them as well. Again, developing loyal fans. I mean, at the end of the day, we're coming into an era where we cannot be marketing to everybody. We got to create a small, I would say, community of our loyal fans. And as we all know, 80% of your customers will, 20% of your customers will actually bring 80% of your business. So I think if that is the mindset and that's not changed over the years, we might as well create our own community of loyal fans, right? And of course, improved sales cycles. So as a touch point, 57% of when a research was done by Social Media Examiner, these are the stats that came across. And I think all of these are relevant to the signage industry. So talking about brand exposure, I really would like to, get your focus here on, these are the social channels, but can you be on all social channels? Maybe some of this content that you put out there could be replicated on others, but at least choose your platform, right? Say, this is what the platform I'm going to commit to, and commitment is key here. And then based on the statistics, I will tell you Instagram and LinkedIn are my two favorites for signage companies. And part of the reason is that Facebook is becoming overrated. Okay, it's very much B2B, and the reason, another reason is that Facebook organic reach is dropping, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But LinkedIn is an area which is untapped. So definitely for me, signage companies, Instagram and LinkedIn, and then of course, let's talk about TikTok, because TikTok is going to take over. Now you may say, Artie, I'm not going to be on TikTok. I'm not going to be doing these videos, but just as you know, when I talked about my home has millennial to Gen Z, these millennials who were there about, I'd say 6 to 7 years ago, here's what I'm going to tell you. These millennials were the largest generation in the US labor force today. And these millennials are making decisions. So millennials are making decisions on the budgets. And if you are not going to market the way they are searching online, there'll be a market share that you might miss out on. So let's talk about some other social stats here, which is generation of leads. This is one area that everybody thinks, if I invest and put a post out there, I'm going to start generating leads. Well, organic leads are a difficult one. Organic reach is difficult to get in. And part of the reason is that Facebook set the tone for everybody to say, hey, you know what? My platform is free. Come on out there. Everybody started to go on Facebook. And then Facebook said, oh my goodness, I have so many people on my platform. Let me start selling them ads, right? And then all of a sudden, people had to shift and say, hey, I was getting all this traffic from Facebook and now I have to pay for it. What the hell? And then, so generating leads still stayed with people, because this chart definitely shows that marketers get more proficient at generating leads, but they have to be consistent, okay? And it has to be with experience. So if you're expecting that I'm going to post on social media today, if you're a new starter or something that you're venturing into, and you will get all the benefit of social channels right away and start generating leads. No, before lead generation comes branding, authority, trust, and great content. Okay, so this is a chart that shows how many years of experience would you get, what kind of market share, okay, and what is the, what kind of the percentage of people who agreed that they will be able to generate leads or not. More than 5 years, at 24% of the population said, or the marketers said, that as they get more proficient at generating leads via social platform is with more experience, right? 5 years of experience, yes, more leads a day could possibly generate. Again, consistency matters. I think, who've been using social media for about 2 years or more, they definitely reported that they're getting improved sales. I'll give an example. There was a client of ours in signage who was not posting regularly on LinkedIn. What they did was they would comment on other people's posts. I call it OPP is equal to OPP. Okay, which is, sorry, OPC is equal to OPC, which is OPP is Ontario Police Patrol. So OPC is equal to OPC, which is other people's content is equal to other people's connections, which means if you are not actively participating on LinkedIn with your own content, at least start getting actively involved in commenting and finding content that you could engage with and then get visibility that ways, right? And that's a first step you could possibly do without even building a content calendar. So consistency matters. Okay. And let's talk a little bit about buyer's journey. I said earlier that there is a lot of buyers who look at your social media posts as part of the sales process. Somebody who's reached out to you through a web form, they looked at your social channels on the website, they went there, and they started to kind of see what the before and after work you've done. Now they have a little bit more trust with you. Now you did have a great conversation with them. You sent them a few testimonials. They went back on your website or their social channels where you have posted a video testimonial. Then again, another brownie point, another level of trust gets engaged there. But if somebody's coming straight up to your social channel, like how do you monetize social? People really want to consume content, which is short. Okay, so they have an intention. I want to know something. I want to do something. I want to go this way, or I want to buy. Now, this may not apply to signage companies, but who knows? The way the world is shifting. Video commerce, e-commerce is becoming really, really big. And we don't know where signage industry is going to shift in 5 years from now. So obviously you want to kind of keep at the pulse to say Amazon Live, Instagram shopping, and more of these live video platforms are emerging. So how could you monetize those and become a little bit different, a little bit unique is by going live when your sign is being printed. When you're printing that vinyl, that large format vinyl, you just go live and say, hey guys, let me show you behind the scenes how we do stuff here at XYZ Signage Group, and that's the moments that you're capturing. And let me tell you one thing, this is part of the social selling ecosystem because your customers are everywhere. So is the content. So sometimes I hear from sign companies when we ask them to, produce content, send it over to us. They're like, I don't know. I don't think I have the content. You guys should produce it. Great, but we're not in your shop, and we would love to if you invite us. But again, at the same time, you have content everywhere. You can capture this content and send it over to an agency like us, and who could possibly turn that into a really good, authentic, behind the scenes or a real post or reels, no pun intended. So I think there's definitely content everywhere. There's micro moments that you can capture everywhere, but make sure that you keep back of your mind. People really want to know something, they want to do something, they want to buy something, or they want to go somewhere, right? So this is a customer journey map in a typical environment, right? There's an awareness stage, consideration stage, decision-making, service, and loyalty. But you will notice for the touch points, social is always going to be there, okay? People are going to really consider that as their source of truth to validate your service. So definitely social media is not going away. It is here to stay. And you have to, if you haven't yet started, must start now. Okay. I will say that a few times. Again, millennials are changing. So the budgets are being held by millennials and the managerial positions, they're ranking up the charts. So you obviously want to tap into that segment to say, okay, if I want to reach these people, they only text, they don't even email. Or they go online to check who's who, and then start to produce signage. So what did pandemic do? Pandemic really created our mindsets to create content which is snackable. Okay, so snackability demanding audience is a term that's now being very popular, which means how do you produce content? Of course, I'm going to talk a lot about videos today, and not even for your regular posts, regular social media posts, go straight. Set the expectations. In this video, I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z. Break it up. You're going to hear from me 1, 2, and 3, and then make sure that this content is like not such high. I think it renders well on mobile. So if you have got a video which is in high quality, so much that it slows down because internet speeds for everybody is different, then it's going to show up as a kind of an image with a cross sign on their Insta feed, and it's going to take forever, and they're going to scroll up, right? Or their LinkedIn feed. So definitely set the expectations in here. Even if you're writing a post, let's say, and I'm going to show you some examples. Give me a second. Even if you're writing a post, let's say it's a LinkedIn post, go straight up, talk about it. Don't beat around the bush. I'll give you an example of this. And that's what has happened to our neurosystem, just as at least mine, because recently I recognized that, wow, I'm so used to this snackability part of it that I really, when I'm in meetings or when I'm talking to people, even in an interview, somebody's beating around the bush, I'm asking a question, I'm like, get it out of the way. Give me straight up, what really do you need? What do you offer? And what can I help you with, right? So I think setting those expectations, getting straight to the point is really important, because we are now wired as a result of pandemic, which is a big thing, that we're consuming shorter content and we want to get straight to the point. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about algorithms. And before we go there, I'm not sure how many of you actually, shown a post from all social media pages that you follow. Not right now, right? You get some posts from some social channels that you follow, or sorry, some social pages that you follow, or accounts that you follow. Even on LinkedIn, you probably will see my post because you've seen it and you've engaged with it, but sometimes you may not see it, right? Or if you're watching a YouTube video, you know how video shows recommendations on what to watch next. Imagine if that didn't exist, okay? Or browsing the internet without any ad, which is very much around the intent of what you had searched the day before. If that happened, you probably will stop using the internet. Yes, no, maybe. Can you give me a round of, show of hands that how many times you've been marketed and you've appreciated that because you really wanted to see that content and it automatically showed up on your feed? Yes, no, for me, it's good. No, Tiffany says no. Tiffany, you're too busy making money. You're not on Instagram anymore. So if that's the case, which I think, say yes, come on, I'll pay you later. So if that's the case, then I think personally for me, when I'm talking about social media, I am thinking, how is this algorithm working that they know everything that's happening? I'll tell you, me and my husband were talking about something, and all of a sudden he said to me just a few days ago, he's like, wow, I'm actually getting served this ad. I'm like, well, this Alexa baby that you have on every floor of the house is listening to our conversations and feeding us exactly what we want to buy. Okay. And then all these marketing, all these product-based companies are giving us this, right? So I think at the end of the day, the problem is we do not want to live without algorithms. This is all algorithmic, by the way, right? We don't want to live without them. We can't live without them because we're now so wired to get information quick and fast. But we love algorithms because we don't like about them is the lack of transparency. What we don't like is how did they figure this out? I was thinking about it and now they've talked about it. They've served me this ad. So this is all part of the game. As a business owner, as a marketing agency, what we need to do is we need to tap into and unpack this algorithm to our advantage. So pay more attention now. Because when I talked about Facebook the other day, where organic reach is declining, that problem is solved because Facebook very clearly said, does it cost money to use Facebook? Well, instead we charge advertisers to show on our Facebook family of apps. What Jay Bear, who's an authority on social and he does a whole lot of work on social research, he came across this is every time Facebook's stock prices increases, the organic reach diminishes because Facebook and Google are in the business of advertising. Do you think they're a non-for-profit? We're going to build this community and don't do anything? No. So this is the problem. We have been relying so much on the organic feed that every time that somebody's asking us to, pay for that, pay for these channels, we're like, what the hell? My social media doesn't work. And then we get off the social media, and say, oh, we don't want to do social media because it doesn't work. Well, remember the previous slides where I said it's experience, it's consistency, and it's a lot more, right? So you definitely want to do that. So the question is, how do you navigate this? Really, I'm not sure if everybody's seeing my navigation of the slides here. Yes, okay. So the question is, how do you really navigate this? It's really not a cookie cutter approach. All you have to do is learn this formula, which is success is equal to AS times L plus HR, which is very easy. Okay, which means S is equal to AS times L plus HR, which means algorithmic signals, you multiply that with already what you know works for you, your competition, and then you add more hyper relevant content to it. Okay, what does this mean? These are the signals and algorithmic signals for all various social channels. Okay, I'm not going to get into Google, but at the end of the day, Instagram, Instagram says post format matters to me. Frequency, how many times do you post on Instagram really matters. How many people are engaging with your content that matters to me. If it's time sensitive or if there's interaction history, I base how many times will I show your next post based on how many people interacted with your post prior to that, right? Do you do polls? Do you do any carousel ads? All of this is part of that. YouTube says, I want to watch your watch history. How many people are really watching your YouTube? How many people are interested in watching the video? If I show that as a recommendation, do people click or skip? That's an important aspect of it. And again, TikTok, the new kid on the block. I'm starting to, I never thought that I'll be on TikTok, but I've recently joined the bandwagon. So please follow me at Measure Marketing. I'm trying to grow my BS there. But videos, likes, and shares, and accounts followed. And all of these factors are important as part of the algorithmic factor. But the point is, for LinkedIn, again, comments can, if your comments, within the first few posts, and I'll share with you some of the other stats, if within the first few hours of you posting on LinkedIn, if you can get a lot more comments, your post will go more viral. Okay, so do that. Also, if you're new coming on LinkedIn, 30 days is what LinkedIn takes for them to learn your posting methodology and your content and everything. So every day, post for next 30 days regularly on LinkedIn. If you skip a day, you'll have to start again, right? It's like intermittent fasting. So basically are those diet plans, right? So you definitely have to do that and make sure that, there is definitely a lot of features. LinkedIn is kind of growing, but the advantage here is for B2B, these algorithms are changing. LinkedIn is still the most untapped social channel that businesses are not putting content out there. So as a signage company, you have an advantage to differentiate yourself from local sign companies, franchise sign organizations, and then start to kind of put the content in real time, more authentic, before and after, a whole lot. So I think signals are very important for us to understand. Having said that, I would say these algorithms are changing really fast. Again, Facebook is driven based on engagement, paid, of course, and how many people are really commenting on your posts, right? That's a really big one. Engagement is a big one. So what is the learnings in this? We just talked about algorithm signals. The learnings is how you keep evolving all the time. So when you posted on Monday, you posted at 8 a.m., let's say, and your post didn't, got 4 or 5 comments, but it still didn't get that much organic reach. Make a note of that. If on Tuesday at noon, your post gets a lot more views and a lot more comments, what you do is make a note of that as well. So the next day, post on Wednesday, check it out, or the Thursday, post at noon and see if noon timing is working better for you or 8 a.m. is working better for you. So have those learnings for you. Secondly, if you look at other people's posts, try and look at, what time are they posting? And what is getting the most conversions? How consistent are they? Kind of, when I was kind of, ranking up the charts in my corporate life, one time during a mentoring session, my VP said, you know what, Artie, what kind of VP do you get inspired by? Who do you want to be seen as, right? Similarly, look at inspiration. It's all over your LinkedIn feed. Inspiration is all over your Instagram feed, check for that. There's no one cookie cutter approach, but make your own learnings and then test those learning. You have to have that mindset of testing. And then again, hyper learning, hyper relevant content. So what could be your learning is, who's engaging with my posts? What is the best time to post the content? What does your audience want? Do they want more before and after? Do they want more imagery? Do they want an article? Is there seasonality? Should I be talking about channel letters during winter months if I'm in, Ohio? Maybe not. But should I be talking about event, a signage if I'm in Florida all year long? Yes, for sure, right? Again, keep those things in mind. Who is your audience? And then go from there. Again, so hyper relevant content. This will make you stand out. Like people say, what should I post? Trust me, there are AI chatbots. If you type in ChatGPT today and say, what are the top 10 topics I should post on social media as a signage company, it'll spit out a few topics. And I have a slide on that. I didn't make them up. I went to ChatGPT yesterday. So again, the nutshell is build your brand, take an omni-channel approach, be so relevant that people cannot just ignore you, right? So become so hyper relevant that nobody can ignore you. They can't scroll up past by liking your post, right? Which takes time because you need to understand what your audience really wants. So this is Adam. Some of you may know him as a signage company. I got on a call and we just, Adam is fun to try a few new things. I shared with some tools with him. I was just on a call with an account manager just like that to say hello to him. And what happened is he has posted so much content here. Look at this. He's getting all the engagement. He's not posted this. He's building this on the go. right? And now he knows what he really wants to post about. So he's making it relevant. He's not talking always about signage. He's talking about leadership. He's talking about branding, and he's talking about vehicle wraps before and after. A vehicle goes into the shop, and when it comes out, it's all branded, you know? So what he's doing is, there's an EAT formula that Google says that your content needs to have expertise, authoritativeness, and it should be trusted, right? Whereas in social media, I created my own EAT, which is it should be engaging, authentic, and thoughtful, right? If you keep within these 6 EATs, I would say, you'd still be winning it on social media, you know? Keep these formula back of your mind to say, this is exactly how I'm going to build it. And I'm going to create a content which is everywhere. The content is everywhere, and I'll tell you why. You have a content in your machine, in your shop where signs are being printed. You have content on the installation side. You have content when you're doing some kind of strategy and planning. You have content when you can picture your graphic designer working on a graphic that is going to go to the client. You have content when a client says, I love the graphic that you put out there. That's content. There's so much content that you have on a daily basis, and it shouldn't stop you from posting on social media, right? Your agency can post, but what you can produce in your business is what only you can produce, right? So YouTube. So YouTube's algorithm is that in the first 24 hours of a video being published, you need to gain as many views as possible. So what you do is you put it out on social media, you send it in a newsletter, and then you send it through SMS, you tell your family to watch it, you tell your friends to watch it, and you actually, if you're in any kind of, business groups on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatnot, post it out there. Because the more views you get within the first 24 hours, the possibility of it being shown as a recommended video is much higher, okay? Similarly, for LinkedIn, it's posting on LinkedIn is not just enough, right? You cannot just put the content out there and then not do anything. So yesterday I did a quick test. I recorded a video, I posted on LinkedIn, and within a few hours, like a couple of hours, I had 114 views, and all these people are looking at my video. I'm like, oh, brilliant. So today I got a call from a brother-in-law, and he's like, he's in India, and he's a little older. I won't say that. How old is he? He's like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You're all over the internet. I keep seeing your videos. And I'm like, oh, thank you for watching those, because I automatically created a network. Now I'm going global. So first 4 hours of your post being live, you need engaging comments. Back in the day, 8-9 years ago, I actually used to do a LinkedIn course. I used to kind of teach LinkedIn marketing and social selling. Francisco, probably you don't know that, but I did that. And Hussam and I partnered back in the day, just as you know. So what I did was I created my own network. I would go to the BNI, and then I would go to the chamber meetings. So I created my own kind of a social influence group. And I would say, hey, when I post on LinkedIn, you like my post and I like yours. Okay, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And then that kind of a social ring or social community helped us gain more momentum on social media, because now we created our own network of likes and comments and shares. So until you find your own kind of people or your own community to engage with your posts, do that. There's no harm. You have an amazing network of your own masterminds within your in your signage company, right? So if you belong to a mastermind within Sign World, if you know other Sign World owners, create that group and start liking each other's posts. Okay, so again, publishing that content and getting within 4 hours to people to like and create that community, that'd be great. TikTok, I'm brand new to TikTok, but I'll tell you one thing, TikTok will take over social media, leaving other platforms to adapt. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, countries were banning social media. Nothing happened. US was going against TikTok, but nothing has happened since then. And these are some of the best timings to post. But I will tell you, some of these timings apply to some of the other social platforms as well. So take a look at them, try them out, and see if this works for you, right? And then TikTok is, again, as I said, is the next best revolution. What do you post on TikTok? Business ideas, tips, tricks. Talk about visual communications. You are in the signage industry, which impacts branding, which impacts HR, which impacts delivery, which impacts, so you do vehicle, you do events, you do branded walls and branded environments and branded spaces. So talk about how does that really impact the end user, and what is the outcome that they're trying to kind of, get to, the companies are trying to get to. So Grant is saying that federal government has banned TikTok from all government devices. Grant, that's true. But at the end of the day, nobody's stopping you from going on TikTok when you're at home, right? Unless I'm wrong. And if I am, please do let me know. But again, TikTok's the popularity is growing very much. Instagram, I want to share with you an example. I was in Nashville traveling, and I had a few hours in between, when my flight was booked to where I was at the hotel. I'm like, okay, let me just go crazy and record an Instagram video. This is my 4 tips for e-commerce. The way I structured it, the way I tagged myself, the way I used keywords in this, within 7 hours, I had 7,693 people viewing. We had 3 leads come out of it, and we are already working with 1 client. So that is the power of social media if you do it consistently. Again, create live content on Instagram. That's such an important thing, right? 80% of users are preferring live content. So again, you don't have to show your picture if you don't feel comfortable. You don't have to talk to the camera if you don't feel comfortable. Have a voiceover and show your machine shop. Your signage shop one day, right? Show how your team is working. If you've taken your team out for lunch or dinner, talk about that. Again, talk about visual communications. I would highly recommend use certain tools, and I'm going to show you. Now, when you post in social channels, your headlines really matter. So use numbers. So 5 ways to wrap your pickup truck in style. Okay. 3 fresh ideas for using signage to enhance employee morale. Okay. 2 tips for starting your next signage project, or 7 factors to consider when moving to a new office space, right? And use odd numbers, by the way. They're really, really catchy and helpful. Even numbers don't get that much engagement. There's a research and study. I don't know. Maybe we like everything odd. Who knows, as human beings. So some of the tools that I highly recommend that you create is Canva. It's a very plug and play kind of a tool. Instagram Reels is, there's an editor in it. What I'd recommend if you're new and you're like, I'm not sure what to do, create a dummy account. Go crazy on that. You don't publish the post button, but at least play around with technology. Okay, as much as an agency can do the social media for you, the content that I'm talking about here must come most of the times, I would say 70-75% of the time, from you. Okay, because it includes real life, what is happening in your sign company. Okay, again, I love this tool, Captions. So it's a paid application. But what you can do is, what Captions does, and this is where Adam got really excited is, and I get excited about is, it has a built-in AI teleprompter. So you don't know what to talk about. You actually go in, take this tool, take this headline, put it in captions, and say, generate the video script for Instagram Reels. It generates the reel for you. It's on your phone. You say record. The reel is you're reading off your camera, and it's recording the video. Okay. All you have to do is remember to blink. Okay, so that it doesn't come across that you're reading off of camera. And all that is just read with intonation. First time may not be the best version. Re-record again. Trust me, 1 video, half an hour, you'll be a pro. Okay, so when you do that, it automatically brings you more confidence. So I love Captions. TikTok has this built-in video editor. You might want to use that. Instagram has that. Now take all of these videos that you've put together, or the content that you're creating, and use it on LinkedIn, post it on TikTok. So I record a Captions video. I post the same video on my Instagram Reels. I put the same video on my Facebook. I put it on TikTok, and I put it on, LinkedIn. Now, we haven't yet figured out how do I post that on video shorts on YouTube, but my team is working on it because I'm the roadblock sometimes, right? So start somewhere, okay? If you want to choose 1 channel, just do it on 1 channel. If you don't want to be on Instagram, at least do it on LinkedIn, okay? So AI, ChatGPT, okay? So I said, you know what? I'm going on this webinar. I really want to give them ideas on what kind of compelling topics should sign companies and sign owners be putting out, right? So here's the point of 10. I didn't write this, ChatGPT did for me, okay? Having said that, will ChatGPT create content for me like this? No. You'll have to go in and show the before and after photos of recent sign installation. Now, this is something that we do for our clients because we ask them for before and afters. Design inspiration post featuring creative signages from around the world. I'll tell you a quick tip. If you go open your Instagram right now or LinkedIn, in your search bar, just say signage And then it gives you options to say, do you want to look at posts that have signage as a word? You want to look at tags or accounts? When you click on the tags, it actually shows you all the posts that have hashtag as signage. Now you get inspiration from your competition because people are really talking about McDonald's signage and when was this built and what was the inspiration behind the signage itself. I mean, there's so much content out there. We just have to kind of, get creative. So again, these are all the topics that I found using ChatGPT. If I go today and give you, tips for creating effective and visually appealing signs, if I just copy this into ChatGPT and say, give me 10 tips for creating effective and visually appealing signs, it'll give me content for that too. Okay, so the content inspiration is here, but you have to create the content. With me? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, I'm good. Thanks, Frank. So what to measure, right? Video views, profile views, likes. Remember that learning part of the algorithm. What you really want to learn from the algorithm is how many profile views am I getting? Are they increasing? Am I getting the likes? Am I getting the shares? Am I getting the followers? And in the first couple of months, nothing will happen. As a CEO, you'll say, I'm disheartened. I don't want to do this. This is not my job. Well, no, building a brand as a top leadership is your job. You got to put yourself out there. Things have changed. You can put out a website, but it's an omni-channel approach that you have to do because the website is driving people and social channels are converting and moving those people with higher trust and authority in you. So you have to put yourself out there. Even when you're looking for, to hire a project manager or a graphic designer, sometimes I'm finding people struggling with that. And back in the day, we struggled to hire top quality talent. And now we have a lineup of top quality talent. Every time I get inboxes, hey, do you have a position? Are you hiring? Are you hiring for internships? It's because we put ourselves out there. We showcase to people what kind of company we are. And we talked about authentic, stuff. Recently, we had a copy editor who joined. The reason why she joined is because she's a fur mom, like she has pets. And she saw a post on her social media where we had posted a few months ago, pets of measure marketing. Or furs of measure marketing. And she's like, oh, I love that everybody is like talking about their pets and, you kind of, so that's the authenticity that you need to bring in. I'm like, oh, wow, wonderful. I paid you $5,000 less, but you're really here to be in that position. I think that's where I think the power of social media is not just to attract clients, but also to attract right people to work with you on your team, right? So at the end of the day, this is what you should be measuring. And what I will tell you is action cures fear. Discipline is the antidote, right? It is the bridge between goals and achievements. So if you want to do it in a disciplined manner. Take one channel at a time, okay? Questions, I'm open to that, and I'm going to stop sharing. I know I went really fast. Any questions, guys? I mean, I'm not seeing the chat. Maybe I am. Okay, so did it, okay. Well, I would say it's both, Tiffany. Tiffany has a question. What is your best advice for content? Is it post, or is it quality? So I think the frequency really matters for algorithm to start to kick in and to start recognizing you. I would say if you post twice a day, that's really good. If you can post once a day to begin with, that's a good start. But on Instagram and TikTok, if you post twice, your follower reach is going to really grow faster. If you're on LinkedIn, you post once a day, but don't have to post your content. Remember, you can actually on LinkedIn go and post it once a day, but you go and engage in other people's content. OPC is equal to OPC. Other people's content is equal to other people's connections, right? So you'll start to see that rev up for you. Thank you.
So a quick question regarding, a posting on others, like in LinkedIn, like you just said right now. I mean, is it a thumbs up, counted, or no? You have to literally go in there and say something about the whatever they're posted.
start with a thumbs up or kudos. But yeah, if you think that there's something meaningful you can add, definitely don't shy away from that. But don't just, because you have to check mark and say, I have to engage on 3 posts, go and just post anything. Substance matters, right? You just don't have to tick off a number to say I posted 3 times or engaged 3 times. But I think the trick is on how to find posts that you really want to engage. So use the search bar on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can bring it up. And then kind of, go in and search there. Because at the end of the day, if you are going to search and find, let me show you. Okay. Okay. Give me a second here. Let me share my screen. So Frank, it's about substance, but at the same time. So if you go into, I typed in signage here, right? I see all results. Now it'll tell me people, companies, posts, what do you want to really see? I'd say posts. And I have all these posts that I will see and comment. Okay. And I'm seeing some of our clients here because that's what we do, right? But you would notice in your feed, you'll be something different, right? Go and like it and comment, why not, right? So I think that's an important, if you really feel that there is a comment that you could make. Now, if you say signage, I'd say, look at people. You really want to connect and build your own network also. If you see certain people who've talked about signage, they may not be a sign company, but they may be a branding company or a marketing agency or somebody who's looking for signage, you could possibly go and start looking at that. And you can actually then filter more, okay? You could filter by locations. Where do you really want to? So I think the idea is to be able to tour around these social channels and then see how you would want to really engage. Thank you. Okay, should live content contain phone, email address, etc., like a used car commercial, or is it assumption if people like the post, they will engage with a business profile? Well, I think there's a fine line between salesy posts to educational posts. So I think going to back to the EAT formula, you have to make it's engaging, it's authoritative, and it's trustworthy. But once they like your post, they'll check your profile. So make sure that your LinkedIn profile and your Instagram profile, everything is complete, and you have a phone number there, right? If they really want to reach out to you, they will. But most likely, the way you will generate leads and business out of social channels is through DM, direct messaging. People will directly message you and say, hey, let's connect, or let's chat more about it. Or I have a client, for example, how I get referrals is, and people will come back and say, hey, Artie, mostly from business coaches, asking me to say, hey, would you present it at my next business coach meeting, or would you, and I go and present something like this, and these are business owners who want to work with us then eventually, right? So I think there's a way to kind of engage without being too salesy. So it's a best judgment that you have to make the kind of post it is. If it's a sales driven post, definitely post how to contact, and usually how I end my lives or my Instagram posts or videos is I say, if you like what you're seeing here today, follow for more, follow me. And then I'm saying, and then I can possibly go and put a sales video out there next time. Good questions. Thanks, Joe. Anything else that I can help you with? So I want some commitments here. I'm a big fan of taking action. I've been told by Jeannie, take commitments. So I'm going to take commitment. How many of you are going to actually try social media? And how many of you are going to connect with me on LinkedIn as a first step? I'll connect with you if I can take a screenshot. Tiffany, come on, you're already connected with me. Okay. So I'm going to just say, connect with each other, connect with me. That's a first step. Put those baby steps out there. Okay. Second is create your social media ring of people when you put the content out there who are going to like your content. Okay, go to your mastermind and say, hey, I'm really excited about what Artie Sharma presented today. Even if you don't want to take my name, that's fine. Just say, I'm really excited about social media and everything that social media can offer. I'm creating this ring or community, local community of signage companies who will write, like each other's posts. Okay, if you create 5 or 10 people, trust me, even if you're getting traffic from other cities or states, that's okay. your LinkedIn is learning that algorithm that you're coming across as a trusted source. That's the second action. How many of you would commit to it? I don't see a lot of you in videos, so send me a chat, please. Let's commit. Let's hold each other accountable. Yes, Frank saying yes. Yes, great. Tiffany, I know we'll do it. Okay. I'm just volunteering. Grant will force you to do it. Who else? Okay, Joe's gonna do it as well. So I think I've got 4 likes. That was my goal. Get at least 4 likes today. So that's amazing, folks. I think it's important for us to know that it's not something that will change your business overnight, but you'll definitely miss out on a share of business if you don't act on it now. Okay, so one last thing that I will do it is setting up the tripod now. I love it. I'll send you a ring light. I'm sending you a ring light as a gift. Do it. And whoever wants to do it and want a gift as a ring light, text me here. We're going to send everybody a ring light from Amazon. Okay. The point is, initiation gets inspiration, which means if you are going to stay on the edge, you're not going to initiate it, you're never going to do it. So start somewhere and you'll get inspired to do more. Okay. We all love listening to ourselves sometimes. Do it. Okay. All right. If we don't have any questions, Sheree, we can call it a wrap, or I can stay longer if you want to have a private consulting session here on social media. Sheree, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can wrap it up. If we'll probably give 1 more minute. Questions here.
Yeah, while we're all kind of,
Well,
yeah, while we're thinking of the questions, who's coming to Vegas? Okay,
that's a great question.
Yeah, and if I was to cover search engine optimization and paid advertising as a subject, what would you like to hear? I promise I won't sell. Last time I got my hand slapped. I spoke very fast and then I was selling from the stage. I won't. Hopefully you found that today I didn't sell. I'm being a good girl. Okay, yeah, how is Todd? I'm covering. I got you there. That's my topic, by the way. So I'm covering AI. How are you, Todd? Great, thank you. Yeah, so definitely AI and search engine optimization. Oh, Todd didn't even type that. See, algorithm is working for him. He actually just thought in his mind and AI typed it for him. That's brilliant. I wish that was possible. Okay, Teresa wants to learn more about AI. I will tell you one thing. Actually, did I post? If you follow me on Marketing Angel right now, or maybe tomorrow, I have recorded a video which is about, is ChatGPT going to kill SEO agencies? Okay, so I've created a video which I can show you right now.
Thinking about buying a house today.
See, this is what I use, captions. Okay. Hey everyone, today we're talking about ChatGPT. Will it kill SEO? Well, for those of you who don't know, GPT is a form. So follow this video tomorrow and you'll get a sneak peek. But ChatGPT is not going to kill SEO, right? And it's not going to replace SEO. I just want you to know, at least not yet. It's definitely changing, revolutionizing really, really fast. So if those of you who really want to kind of, get your, jump in and get your hands and feet wet with this, you have to start using it. Okay, there's a lot of open source AIs available. What I would say is that it's going to change the customer service teams very quickly. It already has. If you have to kind of, give demonstrations of a product, you could create certain videos and avatars to give a demo of how indoor sign is being produced. That could be done through AI. And a whole lot of that is happening, but that is more for Vegas. We're going to talk about that. And those of you who don't know, I have a team member I'd like to introduce here, Francisco Hernandez. Say hello, Francisco. Francisco is going to be joining me there. He's our VP of Strategy and Revenue Operations. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you. Okay, I think it's a wrap. We don't have any more questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Artie. This was great. So
Thank
I
you.
will post this on this site, probably not today, but maybe tomorrow. Everyone can refer back to it, and then I'll email you a list of attendees. John has one question.
Yeah,
Any
alignable.
input
So
on?
yeah, let's get on LinkedIn first. Alignable is the second kid, like a, mini LinkedIn for me. It's a way for you to exchange referrals. It's not, for me, it's not a full-blown social channel to build your brand and your visibility yet. But I've been invited quite a few times, John, on there. But just like Clubhouse and Alignable, I don't invest my time in something unless there's really substantial. I went on there and I'm like, I'm not bought in yet. So if you are on Alignable and you're getting referrals from there, definitely try it out. Now, can I give you an idea, John, on that? I'm not sure how much of you can post your content on Alignable if you have part of certain groups there or whatnot, but that could be your social ring. You could actually post your content there and say, hey, like and post and comment on LinkedIn. Unless I'm misunderstanding the tool altogether. Okay, great. I guess it's a wrap. Thank you everybody once for joining. It was a pleasure putting this together for you, and I hope to see you in Vegas, and if not sooner. Take care and be well.